Welcome to the Tech Girl Podcast. I am Andy Milliard. I'm not your usual host because my guest is Victor Gaxiola of Tech Girl Financial, and you know him, so we're both here at the Morningstar Investment Conference US 2019 edition in Chicago. And Victor, how's it going?
It's going great. It's my first time at this conference, and it's only been a day and a half, and I've learned so much already.
And Victor and I have been working together here at the, the Social Digital Hub, helping out Morningstar and the people who are working with Morningstar to increase and improve their digital presence, their social media presence. And Victor is here as a big expert because you guys do such a great job. So talk to me a little bit about the experience that you've had here at the conference and what you're getting out of it. Well,
I'd be happy to. Well, first, I want to really just say thank you to Marie Swift at Impact Communications, who really extended an invitation. This is a real good testament to the power of social media and digital technology and creating and then fostering and then nurturing relationships with individuals. I've known Marie for many years. She, even before I started working for Actians, before I worked at Hearsay Systems, and now at Tech Girl Financial. And then just recognizing the things that I had done in my career, both working in the industry as an advisor and then outside of the industry in the fintech space, extending an invitation to be part of the Social Digital Hub. And I've really enjoyed the interaction that we've had as colleagues, obviously coming at it from different perspectives and different areas of strength.
Yeah.
So, you and I, Andy, in the podcast world, and these microphones are far better than the ones we use for our podcast. So I'm very curious at the sound that we're going to get on them. But also the video techniques, using video for capture, whether it's on an iPhone or a high-end camera. And the interest level as it relates to that, we've been live streaming on Facebook during the conference. And so that is something that we'd love to add to our practice. So it's interesting because you come thinking to these conferences that you know it all or you know a lot. And yet, if you can walk away with 2, 3, or 4 good ideas, whether it's at the speakers or breakout sessions, or in this case, within my colleagues at the Social Digital Hub, then it's really made the trip to Chicago well worth its time.
Yeah, and you were talking about coming away with good ideas and good thoughts, and whether it be in here or in the speakers hall, and you heard one at lunchtime. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, we were very lucky here at the Morningstar conference because we had the good fortune of listening to Doris Kearns Goodwin, who came out and spoke about her being a historian and following a number of different presidents. And it was actually as she was telling stories about Lincoln that I realized that she was actually the author of a book I really enjoyed, which I haven't finished and I will finish now, called Team of Rivals. And in that particular story, it was about how Lincoln surrounded himself with not only his trusted advisors, but his adversaries, the people he ran against, to be part of his cabinet, to be part of his feedback mechanism. So he wouldn't get lost in his own ideas, but was actually welcoming others to challenge him so he could be a better leader.
Yeah, what was the quote that she gave? He said something along the lines of, why these people are going to hold me accountable. They're my biggest rivals and the smartest people, and I want the smartest people on my side.
Yeah, I think she tells a story. She says she'd rather if you're in a tent, you'd rather have people pissing out of the tent instead of pissing into the tent.
Yeah, that's an LBJ
I think that's what
quote,
it was that she was telling.
LBJ said, I'd rather have them inside the tent pissing out than outside pissing in.
And it's great. And that's one of the things that I've been really fascinated about this whole space in financial services, that when you look around at, who's in the exhibit hall, you'll see all these different asset management companies, all these different firms, and they're all, for the most part, they're all competitors. And yet when it comes to ideas, though, there's no monopoly on great ideas.
A lot of sharing.
And I think it's a lot of that sharing that's taking place. And this is really where that whole idea of like the rising tide raises all the boats. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to a conference like that, you're looking for the best ideas, but you're looking for the ones that are actually going to change the industry and is going to make things better for the investing public.
Yeah. So what else do you want to mention that you come away from the conference with?
Well, I think I was inspired by the stories that were being shared earlier in the presentation. And the thing that I took away from, because later on, as you know, Andy, we actually had a live stream. We were sharing all this different equipment, the microphones that we use for podcasts, the booms, the recorders, the the cameras and the iPhones and all the different gadgets that help you support, make, and create more video. And what wasn't lost on me as I kept thinking about it is that what we're really talking about is the tools that help us tell better stories. And what Doris said, which is true, and I've heard it often quoted before, is that people don't remember facts and figures, but they remember stories.
That's it.
And so as an advisor and those who are, look at best practices, I think it's really important for the advisor community to really tell their story. But more than that is to find out what's their client's story, because everybody has a story to tell. And so when we're looking at how do we help them with their finances, how do we help them make better financial decisions to reach their goals, I think it's really important for us to understand that we are just part of that story. How can we help them complete that story? Because people want to live long and fruitful lives. And many times when we start working with clients, they still have 20, 30, hopefully 40 years still left. Yeah. We want to be part of that story. So as long as we understand what the origins are, we can kind of see where it's going, and we want to help them, get to that so that they end their story that's memorable and they've made an impact on their families and their communities.
And if we as advisors can understand that story of our client, then we can appreciate them on a level that we wouldn't be able to otherwise, and we can help them on a level that we wouldn't be able to otherwise, and they can appreciate that in us, I would suspect.
I agree, and I think that that's why a lot of the talk, especially as it relates to things like social or digital, or whether you're using blogs or if you're using a podcast or video, is that whole idea of authenticity and transparency. Because by using authenticity and transparency, in effect, if you're telling your story in an authentic way, right, and you're being vulnerable to provide, if you will, that full transparency, I think that that's what makes those connections human. Right? Yeah. And what we're really talking about this is that when you're tweeting, or if you're posting content, or if you're sharing it on Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever medium, what you're really looking for is a connection, and you want to connect with people. And that's really what you're going for. So it doesn't matter if you have 100, 200, 300, or 1,000 followers. What really matters is how many people are you making a connection with.
That's what it takes to be a successful financial planner, financial advisor, is those connections and understanding those stories. It's not the assets under management, it's not the number of clients that you have, it's understanding and really making those connections with the clients that you do have. Those are the really lasting relationships, aren't they?
Absolutely.
All right, man. Victor Gaxiola of Tech Girl Financial, thank you so much for spending this time with me. And allowing me to take over your podcast, however briefly. I'm Andy Millard of Andy Millard of AndyCanHelp.com here at the Morningstar Investment Conference US 2019. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.